So this is going to be a little more difficult than usual for me to say, and also for some to hear. Now, sometimes I learn a handy life lesson that changes a small area of my life, and sometimes I learn something so deep that it impacts several layers of my personality. Looking back on the actions and emotions of the last few weeks and placing myself again in those situations, now that feels like putting on clothes that no longer fit. So let me explain what happened. On Wednesday, I felt a strong and sudden need to sit and process my thoughts, and I ended up meditating, thinking and journaling for several hours. I started to write an action plan based on my perceived development needs, the things that made me uncomfortable that I want to get better at, etc. But that ended up segueing into some really deep questions. And those questions took me deep into the source code of my thought processes. I began to see that some things were just set up in a way that didn't really make sense to me anymore. They were set up in a way which just didn't feel like they were authentically who I am. And I began to ask questions like, why do I come preloaded with a desire to be in a relationship? What do I hope to get out of a relationship? Why do I seek a relationship? What can I get from that I don't already have? And in asking myself these things, I found that one of the reasons I was seeking a relationship was to receive love and validation. And those are normal, healthy human desires, but I sensed that something was off. And I'll return to this in a moment. Last year, I did a supervised meditative Psilocybin mushroom trip. And don't get me wrong, this is not a recommendation for any form of psychedelic trip, by the way. There are risks and you need to do your own research. But on this trip, one thing I experienced was seeing everyone that I had ever loved, both romantically and non-romantically, and then seeing them disappear with a terrifying feeling of losing everyone that I would ever love. And I remember crying so hard during those moments. But at the end of it, I felt a peace. I felt a sense that even though our relationships and our lives are temporary, love is not. And even people who loved me, who had died, their love remained. If God is love, then love is eternal. And I felt the powerful truth of that in that moment. Returning to this week, that experience of last year seemed to close that previously open circle of needing a relationship to feel loved. And I know that what I was really looking for actually was someone who would love me perfectly, something which no human being would ever be able to do. And now my perspective has shifted in a way which renders so much of my previous energy and motivation superfluous. And now I'm no longer looking for love. I already have it. I experienced pieces of the perfect love I was looking for so long during every interaction with other people and also from myself. Now I don't need a relationship. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm open to the idea, but I probably need a bit of convincing. If I enter a relationship, it's going to be from a position of want, not need. And that feels a mile away from how I was thinking previously. There are many more implications of this which I'm still working through. And as much as I'm very open, I don't tell you guys everything, particularly stuff I haven't even concluded on yet. I just wanted to use this story as a reminder that sometimes the smallest change in how we think, if we're willing to go deep enough to find it, can have the biggest impact in how we think and feel. If this video has been interesting to you, please hit the like button. And if you want to discuss anything that I've said here, please leave a comment or reach out to me. And as usual, I'm available for individual coaching for anyone who feels the need for it. Thank you very much for listening.